Another kind of graph works very well for data sets that have numbers that involve like 25 or 32 or 68. Next kind of graph we're going to talk about is a stem and leaf plot. So let me give you a data set. And again, this data set could be anything, but the key I want you to notice is the fact that all my values will have two numbers, 25, 68, something like that. So 2 digits, a units and a 10. 22, 53, 29, 35, 27, 45, 25, 31, 63, 62, 23, 57, 62, 39, 45, 52, 27, 33, 65, 39. Double check that you have 20 numbers when you've written it down. I've got 20 numbers, and hopefully I didn't write anything down wrong. But I want to talk about how to organize this data set since you have a units and a tens position. Okay? A stem and leaf plot is a graph where you actually write out the data values. You'll see the actual numbers. But the way you're going to break it up is you're going to put the tens digits on the left. You're going to put all the ones digits on the right. But you're going to consolidate. You're not going to list every single tens digit as every time it happens. For example, the smallest thing I have for a tens digit would be a 2, anything in the 20s. So when I put a 2 here, this is technically what I'm calling my stem. What branches off of a 2? What would be the leaves? Okay? I'm going to go through in order and just kind of mark off as I get to them. So hopefully you can follow what I'm doing. But 22, I'm going to put a 2 there. Now that's the tens and that's the ones, so that reads as 22. The next one would be 29. So I'm going to put a 9 there. 29. Okay? The next one's a 27. What would I write here?
7.
A 7. Good. 27. Okay? This next one, put a 5. 25.
You already have 27.
Well, hold on. There's a 23 in there. Yep, there's a 23. I don't want to forget that one. 23. Okay. And the only other one I have is a 27. Now you might say, well, do I write it again? How do I handle repeats? If I have 20 data items, so n is 20, I want to have 20 numbers over here. So do you think you write it?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's okay if it repeats. Don't worry about it. In fact, repeats are good because that's going to be a pattern that you're going to notice. Now, if that's the 20s, what should come next?
3.
Yeah, 3 for the 30s. So go through, and it doesn't matter if you do it in the same order as someone else because we're going to reorganize this in just a minute, but just get all your 30s written down. So 35,
31,
31, 39, 33,
39 again.
and 39 again. Okay. Also, as you write these, be very conscious of your handwriting. Try to keep the first numbers all in one column, The second number is all in the same column. The third number is in the same column. Because I want to see which row is longer, which row is shorter. So I don't want to squeeze my numbers together. Spread them out evenly. Okay, next row should be something for the 40s. 45. And another 45. And that's all I've got. So that's okay. All right, well then I need to do the 50s. 53. Put that down.
52.
And a 52 and a 57. And that's it for the 50s. And then the 60s.
62.
Let's see, 63 and 62.
62 again.
Another 62, okay. And a 65. And again, try to spread out your numbers evenly so that you can tell the first column, second column, third, and which row is longer, which row is shorter. Now, which row was longer?
2.
Okay, the 20s. Now, what if I told you these were ages? And these were employees? Okay? Which age group had the most ages? The 20s. Which came in second highest?
Oh, 30.
The 30s. Okay. What was the highest age?
65.
65. What was the lowest age?
22.
22. Now, not only can you tell where more of the data is and where less of the data is, you can also tell what the data is. Okay, what each value would represent. Now, would this be my final answer? No. And I can still answer questions because it's a small enough data set, but what I would prefer before I even start asking questions is that you put these in numerical order. Okay, the stem is already in order. But now each row, you put each row in order. So here's my final answer. Make my stem 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those are going to be my each row. And then I'm going to put each row in numerical order. So I'm going to put a 2 and a 3, a 5, 2 7s, and a 9. And then the next one, a 1, a 3, 5, and then 2 9s. This one's already in order. There's nothing to do because it's just 2 5s. 2, 3, 7. 2, 2, 3, 5. Good. Now, in this final answer form, it is terribly obvious 65 is your highest age. 22 is your youngest age. Which ages were repeated?
65.
Let's start at the beginning. 27, 39, 45, 62. Do you see how obvious that is? And imagine if you had 50 numbers every year, but if it was in order. The highest and the lowest stand out immediately, and anything that's repeated, they're going to be right next to each other. So that's why we want to see repeats, because that jumps out and tells us, oh, there's some people that were the same age. So we had 2 people who were 27. Okay? Now, something else I can do with this graph going back to my table. I could do what's called a grouped frequency distribution. And when you see the word distribution, what does that just mean? It just means it's a table. So don't let it upset you that I say make a grouped frequency distribution. You're just going to make a table. And we're going to make a table for this data set. And if it's already in the stem and leaf form, this table is very easy. Okay? Notice how my table is going to look. And before I even put my titles here, I'm going to tell you what these rows are. And the first one is going to be 20 to 29. So anything in the 20s. And then 30 to 39 for anything in the 30s. 40 to 49. 50 to 59. And I need one more group, 60 to 69. So that's why I call it a grouped frequency distribution, because I'm going to have all these different groups. Now, my numbers represent age. So what I could, and you can make up your own title here, but you gotta have something. You could say like age groups. So here's an age group of 20 to 29, age group of 30 to 39, etc. Now, it's a frequency distribution, so this one has to be frequency. How many were in each age group? Now, can't you count real fast? Isn't this a lot easier to count than looking through this list and marking things off as you go? Yeah. In the 20s, we had 6 people. Because I had a 22, a 23, a 25, a 27, a 27, a 29. How many are in the 30s? Okay. How many are in the 40s? How many are in the 50s?
3,
And the 60s?
4.
And if you add up this column, should you not, because we said there were 20 items in here, should you not get a total of 20? And what variable name can you call that one?
N.
N. Good. Question?
Do we have to put the N before or after, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter where you put the N. That's up to you. I'm just trying to get you to remember N for right now. Okay? Now, either one of these is going to be a lot easier to understand than a list of numbers.